Hello, my lovely. You didn't get to where you are in your business by doing shit the way that everybody else does. And you know that what got you to where you are now is not going to get you to where you want to be. And if you are listening to this podcast, it's because you want to be the go to for what you do better than anyone else. Your brilliance is the niche. Being you, that bold, unfuckwithable presence that you've secretly been craving to set free, she is in there. And that means you will have to burn some old bridges down. And attracting your people will also repel those who are not for you. Fucking hooray. Becoming a force of nature business and brand means no more Miss People Pleaser, no more hiding your turbo brain, no more dimming down jack shit. And if you have ever been told to tone it down as a woman with ADHD, it's time to tone your shit all the way the fuck back up. That is how you create unstoppable momentum in your business and visibility that is something you've been avoiding, but that you truly want. This podcast is about stepping into your upgrade, watering down anything, never change the fucking world. You were not born to be forgettable. And as one of my all-time favorite quotes says, well-behaved women rarely make history, and nothing about you or me is well-behaved, at least not anymore. In today's episode, I'm going to tell you my own money history, my money story, my past beliefs about money, where I am now, and why I am sharing this topic over 4 episodes. This series is going to be all about what you may believe about money, why your brain as an ADHD human makes you believe certain shit that isn't true about money, and why and how to start to change your own beliefs around this topic. So many fucking women have a hard time discussing this shit, discussing money. And I don't call my brand Carrie Out Loud for nothing, because I'm going to say the inside thoughts out loud in my outside voice and talk about this shit out in the open. This has been coming up a lot. So it's time. It's time. This is part 1 in a series of 4. So from one force of nature to another, turn the volume up to an 11 and welcome to the Feral Women's Club. Welcome back to the ADHD Entrepreneu, the podcast for feral ADHD women in business who refuse to play by the fucking rules. Hi, how are you? My name is Carrie. I'm your host. I'm the chief weirdo of Carrie Out Loud. If you are new, welcome. I am so glad you found the podcast. If this episode has an impact on you or helps you in any way, please do me a quick favor and subscribe, turn on the notifications, and that way you'll be reminded to come back every Wednesday for the new episode. Also, please leave a 5-star rating and a review of the episode you listened to and why that was so helpful. This will also help other women like you find the podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, hi, plan to see me in the same sweater for the next 4 episodes because I'm recording these all together. Since I understand your ADHD, both professionally and personally, each of my episodes will have my business expertise filtered through the lens of having our feral funhouse of a brain known as ADHD. So if you're late diagnosed or self-diagnosed, or you're diagnosed when you were younger, all are welcome here. And my approach to life and business is about focusing on the upsides of our beautiful Technicolor brains and our advantages, while also acknowledging that it is very real that we have these hard parts, but they are manageable. I don't believe ADHD is a disability. And I know that ADHD women can do whatever the fuck they set their minds to, period. So if that is not your jam, I may not be your jam. And that's totally okay. I'm not offended. But if you do share my point of view, stick around. So let's get into it. Let's get into this topic. So I was born in Laguna Beach, California. Yes, that Laguna Beach. My mom and dad divorced when I was 3. We did not have a lot. We were broke as a joke. I remember having breakfast for dinner and thinking, oh, that's really fun, but not realizing that's all we could afford was breakfast for dinner. And it wasn't really made a big deal out of until a little bit later in my life, which I will get to. We had roommates. We lived in tiny apartments. We had apartments where we had 1 bedroom. We both slept in. We lived with other people. We lived with my great aunt for a while in an RV in her back, behind her house, and she helped raise me for many years. And then my mom, who was a single mom, my dad and I had a strange relationship until right before he passed away. He was a really fucking beautiful, good human who had a lot of issues mentally. And so he removed himself from my life at certain points because he thought it would be what was better for me. And he did that out of kindness. It took me a long time to process that, but he was a really good human. However, my mom was the one who primarily raised me. And then at one point, I think I was, gosh, I don't even know how old I was, but she started going to school at night and went to school for 7 years to get her degree. She didn't rely on anybody else for help. She did it all herself. And then she got married when I was around 15. Our money situation changed because she had gotten into her new career, graduated from college, and was married. And the thing was, though, her tight grip on money, not having enough money, not having enough, that word enough, still lives with her to this day. And she's 72 years old. And she still has thoughts around the fact that, she might be pushing a cart down the street one day, even though her and her wife have more than enough that they need in order to live a long, full rest of their life. She put that in place because of the fact she had to do it all on her own. She's very safe. She wants that security, that the feet on the ground. And I realize as I get older that I am the antithesis of that. I am delusional when it comes to money and certain other things, but we'll get there and kind of how I got to here. But being broke as a joke did spill onto me and a couple of other experiences that I had with money that really imprinted in my brain and have carried on with me until last year. So we'll get to that. So I've had my points in my own life where I've had a shit ton of money. I've had points in my life where I've had none. I've had 6-figure businesses and burned them down from burnout. I've given money to men in my life to keep them around. I'm sure that we women with ADHD can relate that sometimes we utilize money or finances in relationships, and then the realization of when the money would run out, that it would be over, even if I would end it. It was because they were no longer in the relationship fully. And you know exactly what I'm saying there. I would have to end it. I would have to be the bad guy. And that's kind of my little history up to 2009. That is very brief, clearly. But when I was really young, we didn't have a lot. Then we were more upper middle class from the time I was 15 on. And then the thing that stuck with me the most, though, happened in 2009. I'd broken up with my boyfriend of 4 years. We had spent a shit ton of money because I made a shit ton of money. He spent a lot of it. I let him. And we ended up having to short sell our house, surrender our cars, plural. And I moved into the loft of my mom's condo where I lived for 18 months with my son. This was right before I met, about a year before I met my husband. And this 18 months of time rooted so deeply into my brain that it took from 2009 to last year to really begin unrooting and me really taking a look at my thoughts and feelings in relationship about money. And I've had all kinds of beliefs about money. There isn't enough. There's more than enough. There's more where that came from. Woe is me about money and everything in between. But at this point, I have a much deeper understanding about ADHD with money, about my own money beliefs, about what we struggle with when it comes to having money with ADHD and why. So this is going to be my personal take on money. I am not logical about it. I am not linear about it. I never have. I am totally delulu when it comes to money, how much we can have of it, which is a shit ton. Of course, you have to work for it, but you don't have to work yourself into a fucking nub of a human to have it. And last but not least, your inherent worth is not tied to a fucking dollar sign or a dollar bill. You have heard that again and again throughout this podcast, but there comes a point when you have to absorb that your inherent worth and a dollar bill are not tied together. And that your worth is internal. It comes directly from you. I know you hear this over and over and going, yeah. No, like, I want you to take a second and fucking absorb it. Absorb it. Your worth is not tied to a dollar bill. And think about what you actually want in your life and in your business and how to go get it. These are things that you get to make decisions on. These are choices and decisions. Now, let me acknowledge a few things before I go on. Yes, I'm a white woman. Yes, I was privileged at certain points, but damn boy, was I not privileged. We literally had nothing. I've also had absolutely nothing my own self, where, like I said, I lived with my parent as an adult with my own child. I have survived different kinds of abuse when I was young that I don't really need to go into detail, but I'm sure that you can understand those feelings as a young person having those types of experience, plus relentlessly being bullied as a kid and throughout my even early adult life, and also being undiagnosed with a neurological condition I didn't know I had until 48. So that led to a lot of self-doubt, a lot of self-loathing, a lot of feeling no matter how much I accomplished, no matter where I got to, no matter how much I achieved, as a high achiever, that I would never be good enough. And some of that comes from my parent growing up. Some of it comes from the way people have spoken to me, but man, it was good and deep. But there is more, of course, to me as a person in my history, but I don't feel I need to earn, and I have had it bad enough badge to address what we're talking about here today, and what we're going to be talking about for these 4 weeks. We have all had our own levels of shit in life. We have all come from different places, different backgrounds, but these are things that are rooted in where I am now and able to look in hindsight. So I'm going to come back to my own story here. I got to the point of having money again after living with my mom, where I basically wouldn't fill my gas tank ever because I was needing to just leave a little bit of money in my account. It was just such a crazy fucking time. And even though I got to the point, I came out of that. I did not live there any longer. I was here where I am right now, sitting here in this home, with my husband, who I met and we ended up moving in, getting married, all that jazz. But even then, I would still only fill up my gas tank to half full. I would still only buy just enough groceries, even though we could totally afford more. I was mentally stuck in that attic in my mind, and all kinds of bullshit beliefs took root in my brain, and they stayed there for a really long time. Like, again, 2009 to 2024, when I finally started pulling it out, right? But 890 days ago, as of this podcast, I finally got my ADHD diagnosis, and I understood why I ruminated on that, why that went over and over and over again in my head. And that part of me finally, and that gave me the bravery to start really looking at the money shit last year and my beliefs around it. Not earning it. I can earn it. It's like with money, it's a renewable resource, right? Your time is finite, but we can go find a job and make money. We can go and create a business and there are so many ways to create and to earn and to make money. But the diagnosis was one of the things that really helped. And even though I've had mentors, I've never one time addressed my money shit. Never once. Not even once. And so I think part of not feeling the ability to be more seen was definitely tied to money. It's like, oh, if I'm more seen, then I can make more money. And if I make more money, maybe I can lose it again. And all of this bullshit crap that was going on in my head. And so I read the book, You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero twice, but it's not the original. I read that one, but You Are a Badass at Making Money. And then this past year, I have also read something that I consider a little bit more advanced when it comes to like looking at money. It's Rich as Fuck by Amanda Frances, right? I have finally made peace with money I no longer feel like I still live in that loft in my mom's house, stuck in that loop over and over again that I'd been stuck in my brain. I know that money is energy. And I know that we hear all of this shit in different ways and shapes and forms, and from people that we listen to, podcasts we listen to. We're in this industry where people are talking about money, even though not everybody wants to. One of the things that helped me finally start to figure out why I wasn't growing the way that I wanted to was because I was doing way too much in my business. And it was part of why I did not have enough time to do the parts of my business that I loved, because I was tinkering with all the shit that didn't matter at all. I didn't have any intention behind what I was creating, my offers, how it all flowed together, who I truly love working with the most. And I don't mean niche wise, I mean like the kind of fucking human being, like that aspect. I didn't have intention behind what I was creating and how it all connected, so that my client had a road to work with me that made sense. If they wanted a little higher touch, they could be in this place. If they wanted a little bit lower touch, they could be in this place. Like having offers that all spoke to each other and the kind of people that I want to work with. So I got real and I started really looking at my business model and the parts that were not creating the scaffolding I wanted around it to grow it, and the foundation of bedrock that I needed in order to get it to where I want it to go. Because you have to have a foundation that supports it. If you take a wobbly foundation and you start building on it, you've got a Jenga. You've got a Jenga building. You've got a Jenga business, right? So making sure that that foundation is really solid is really, really important. And as I started doing that, my beliefs on money also started changing. Yes, you will work really fucking hard. I'm not going to lie and say, oh, business is a piece of cake. No, it's not. It's a special kind of crazy that we choose for sure. But it is not so hard that you have no life, no joy, no rest, no time to recharge. And I was talking with my new business mentor, and I will discuss that whole process in the fourth episode, because that's kind of the finale of these four, and kind of what happened there and how it all really showed me that everything I've been working up to and believed to be true was real. And this is the reason why I'm creating these 4 episodes. So we're gonna her and I were talking about being booked out in our businesses, but being chill as fuck, right? For someone who isn't chill sometimes, and I am more chill now in my business than I've ever been, and I'm from California, so we tend to be a little bit more chill, but my fuck yes dreamy ass clients are here and they're finding me and they're hiring me. It's amazing. I have less than 1,000 followers. I don't give 2 shits about vanity metrics, because one of my core values is connection. I don't have a trouble connecting with people. That is my focus. And I always believe, and have believed since my first business as a realtor in real estate, the practice that I built, that when we do right by people, the rest will show up. Fucking facts. It's true. Do right by people and it will compound over time. Will there be times when you are sprinting in your business? Yes, of course. We have growth spurts. That's natural. But if it is 24/7, 365, year after year after year, that is not sustainable. It can't be. And that is why with ADHD, we end up having these crashes, or we have the burnout, right? We can work hard for what we're creating and the life and money we want, but we don't have to work as hard as we think we do, because our 50% effort as ADHD humans looks like other people's 120%, right? You have got to slow down sometimes to speed up, period. This is said by me, a person whose brain is always on fire and always going thousands of miles per hour. I had to slow down. That's why I call my slingshot the 30-day slingshot. I had to pull back on that slingshot and hold a little bit of time to make some corrections, changes, and tweaks before I let go and slingshot forward. That's exactly what happened. But even my feral ass ADHD combined type, I got it all, man. I'm an overachiever when it comes to even ADHD. It's like there's inattentive, there's hyperactive, and there's combined. I have both, right? I mean, overachieving and ADHD, but What I understood is that I had to take a moment to slow down in order to make sure the foundation was super solid. And one of the questions I had heard was if 50 new clients came to you right now today, do you have everything behind the scenes ready to go to accommodate that? And my answer was, oh, no. No fucking way, right? So that was a really cool wake up moment for me because it made me go, okay, what do I really want here? I had to get really, really real. And you've got to learn in your business that less is more. You can make more doing less over time because everything compounds. Your knowledge gets broader and better. And people knowing who you are happens more. Building a reputation happens more. Referrals happen more. Clients stay with you longer. They rehire you, all of that jazz. And none of that means your work is less value. It's actually more valuable. That's where pricing comes in, having to adjust your prices up and how to do that, which I teach my clients all the time. And it also means that you finally understand that your fucking Ferrari brain can do in 10 or 20 minutes more than a lot of neurotypical people can do in a day. So these are the things that come into our brains when it comes to money. We tie our money to our inherent worth. We tie money to our value. We tie money to things in our past and allow it to mean something still today in the now. And so to really wrap up this part, your past money story does not have to come into the future with you. You can decide to challenge these ideas and change them. It is a decision and a choice to take action to do this. It's a decision you can make right now today. That's what it was for me. It was a decision to go, yeah, no, this ain't it. I know what I've done before and what I've accomplished. I've taken my lessons and I'm failing forward with those lessons because it's not a failure, it's a lesson, right? And I get to bring that into this experience. And this change is a decision. Your brain has what's called neuroplasticity. That means you can literally change your gray matter, the shape of it, grow it, the grooves in it, all that jazz with thoughts and mindset. That's not bullshit. That's actual science. Look that up. It's neuroplasticity is the word. That means you can change anything you want to in a moment with your decision. And with being an ADHD human, we believe in growth mindset naturally. That's literally our design. We know we can learn anything we need to in order to grow or get to where we want to go, period. We believe that. Not everybody has a growth mindset, and people throw that word out all willy-nilly, growth mindset, but all it really means is you're willing to learn new things or new skills to grow into where you want to go. You believe you can learn the things to get you to where you want to be, right? So this is the part where you understand that your mind can change your brain. Make the decision to change this now. If you have any feelings, I don't care how big your fucking business is. I know people who have, 200K cash in or 200K sales in a month and still have feelings and weirdness around money. It doesn't matter what level you're at. Those things don't fucking change. Okay. But the difference lies in, as you grow in your business, how long do you live there and stay there in those thoughts? And how quickly do you break the patterns that you're in there in order to shoot yourself forward and out of it? Where do you take up residence and ruminate and live over and over again in your head? And how quickly are you able to get to the other side of it, walk out of it, and let it go? So if this episode challenged your beliefs on money in any way, shape, or form, I am so glad and I love that. I would love to hear, I don't know, did you disagree with something? Did something challenge you in a way that you were like, gosh, I never even thought about it that way, or even something about my own story that you would like me to share more on or elaborate on? I would be more than happy to do that. You can find me and my information in the show notes. DM me over on Instagram at Carry Out Loud. I would love to hear from you. And with that, I'm going to end today's episode. If you would like to book a free clarity call with me, my contact info is in the show notes. They're 30 minutes. They're not a coaching call. I ask you questions to make sure I'm clear on what you need and if I can help you, and we go from there. And I'm also not a sit on your head kind of person. We're all grown-ups. I give you your options based on what you need. And then the next part is in your hands. If you love this episode, please tell everyone in your business, sister. Send me a note by carrier pigeon on what you loved. Drop it in the DMs. Let me know what you got out of it. One of my core values, as I said earlier, is connection. And I love hearing from the people who listen to this podcast. So until next week, I see you, I love you, and I'm fucking rooting for you always. Stay untamed and feral, my lovely. Bye. Oh, hey, you're still here. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. Be sure to check out the show notes for all the ways to follow me. And of course, my goal is to find and help as many women with ADHD get away from the 9-to-5 grind, because it's just not designed for our neurospicy brilliance, and there are other ways to do life. So by subscribing, sharing, and giving a 5-star review, it helps other women find this podcast as well. And if there's an episode you really love, please feel free to take a screenshot and share it on your social and tag me in it so that I can thank you personally. Until next time, you spicy brained unicorn. Bye.